Dear students, today we are going to deal with a topic which is entitled pricing. This topic entitled pricing forms integral part of consumer exploitation. So, in this lecture, I seek to introduce what is pricing. It is part of fiscal modeling. Fiscal modeling, which is a part of a company's revenue generating mechanism. Though it is part of fiscal modeling, it forms the key segment of marketing plan. So herein you should understand that if the prices are beyond accessibility for everyone, the product cannot be successfully marketed, and therefore this pricing forms a key component to the marketing plan of an industry or company. Thus, as far as the definition goes, pricing is the process whereby a business sets the price at which it will sell its products and services. So, it's a process where a business sets the price in order to sell its products and services. So, that is the definition of this. It may be part of the business marketing plan in setting prices, and accordingly its balance sheet will figure and auditing processes will be taking place. So in such a fashion, pricing has been part of economics, wherein it becomes integral part of fiscal modeling as also marketing plan. So this is the introductory part of pricing. But we should remember that we are dealing with consumer awareness and how pricing affects the consumers. That is the important component for us. So before entering into the consumer part, let us first of all see what are the usual factors that influence pricing. So at the first head, availability of raw material determine the pricing index. Actually, take for instance, if in our country we have large resources of petroleum and diesel, then lot many products will be available for us in cheap. For in our country, we have lot of resources available in places such as Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Kuch Bihar, that is part of the West Bengal, and other regions also. So since we import petrol and diesel from the Arab countries or through the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, we pay a lot of money not only as taxes but also as price to petrol and diesel. So therefore, other availability of raw material is put to the background, and this petrol and diesel prices, they determine the pricing mechanism in our country. So apart from that, we have something called manufacturing cost. So for instance, if you take a Honda company which deals with cars and motorcycles, they are trying to introduce a new project, a new brand they are trying to introduce. So another investment is made into that project. So in manufacturing cost, this new investment makes an important figure, and apart from that, usual costs spent on electricity, taxes paid to government, salary to workers, transportation, and other costs, etc. So manufacturing costs are very influential in pricing, in determining the prices. So marketplace is also very important. Today, if you have gone through the newspaper, you might have watched the news stating that Harley Davidson company is likely to exit from India. So Harley Davidson company is known throughout the world for selling first class motorcycles. But what happens here is the minimum price range of this Harley Davidson motorcycles is beyond 10 lakh rupees, and they are having faster engines. But in India, you may not be able to sell such products for such huge price, and that quality is not essential for this market place, and therefore there is no way other than exiting from Indian market. So marketplace also is taken into consideration when prices are being fixed. Similarly, there is something called a market condition. So, for example, in India, there are large number of people who are suffering from diabetes, and therefore, uh, for diabetic patients, it was thought that oats will be a supplementary food, and therefore oats were introduced for these diabetic patients. But at one point of time, oats seem to give very minimum energy, and therefore what happened is a large number of companies which imported oats from other countries and marketed here, they stopped doing such business. So market condition has to be taken into consideration before fixing the prices. So similarly, competition, availability of competition has to be taken into consideration. uh, Soft drinks industry is being dominated by Pepsi and Coca-Cola companies. So, uh, in such a situation, you come across a small company called Kalimark or Boanto trying to make inroads into that particular industry. At one point of time, this Pepsi Cola and this other company, they met with huge litigations in India, and therefore their competition led way for another company such as Bovanto, and they were able to make good profit. And therefore, it is not that huge industries could not be challenged, and small companies could not make inroads. So, competition has its own conditions. So, it also influences the pricing mechanism. So brands, there are worldwide brands and national brands which they have their own pricing system. For instance, we have a shirt called Alan Solly and another shirt model called Peter England. So these shirts, they propagate that they are made in England, but whether they are made in England or not, one customer, he tried to locate the Alan Solly company in London, but he was not able to get any information about this company, and later he came to know that it is an Indian product, and for the reason of marketing that, that particular company has written that it is made in England, and the texture looks like very soft, suitable for winter condition, and therefore customers are influenced by such brands, and therefore for that brand they pay some prices. So apart from that, we have the quality of prices, the quality of products which determine the prices. So some companies, what they do is they give a colorful paints, and they give lot of stickers, and they try to influence the consumer's mind, and they accordingly fix huge prices also. So we are in a state of mind that this is a good product, and we tend to buy that. So apart from these usual factors, you have consumer psychology. So some products, they profuse that the prices are being dealt in dollars and pounds to influence that it is an international product. So therefore consumers, they are thinking that this particular product is used worldwide, and they buy that product. And some brands, they have exact pricing stating 0.99 rupees. So we are thinking that they are professional people in pricing, and accordingly we choose that particular product. So consumer psychology makes very important component of fixing prices. So higher rates sometimes influence the buyer's mind. For instance, Enfield company at one point of time decided to close its showrooms. But again, Enfield companies, they introduced wider choices. A lot many models were introduced, and gradually what happened was this company, though it fixed its products in a higher price, many people prefer to buy these newly introduced prices, that too in a period marked by economic slowdown. So these companies also offer seasonal reductions, and therefore consumer psychology is accordingly influenced. So now let us see what is the problem in our country pertaining to pricing. So unequal competition between various classes of people is present in our society. There are people who are having luxurious cars, huge apartments or bungalows, and they live in harmony. And many people live, in the other hand, in the below poverty line, and they believe themselves as middle class. So these poor people thinking themselves as middle class is a kind of false consciousness as marked by Karl Marx, and they do not know to locate the exact class to which they belong, and they call themselves middle class. But as far as our country is concerned, it is only the white collared workforce which has the potential to call itself middle class. So herein you should understand that the poor people does not have the purchasing power. Rather, it is only the middle class white collar workforce which has the purchasing power. So many products are beyond accessibility of ordinary people. So in developed countries, what they do is they try to ensure purchasing power parity being established at all levels. Government gives a loan at cheaper interest rate, and they try to develop this purchasing power parity. But this purchasing power parity is said to be a good mechanism to develop a country, and this is the model that has been suggested by Nobel laureate Amartya Sen himself. For that, government is required to invest a lot of money through its budget in education, health, and gender equality. But before going into that, our government rationalizes that introducing of the competition in an equal pace would be more useful. So the unequal competition has to be rectified. So they without when people do not have money, they try to strengthen the public distribution scheme through which food supply is ensured. They introduce subsidies in electricity, in television sets, laptops, mixers, and predominantly these television sets, laptops, mixers are given in given at free of cost. So mass supply in reduced prices is being negotiated by the government, and therefore people are able to get that. Once after getting all this, and apart from that, you have scooters for women also in subsidized prices. So once after getting that, the unequal competition is in a way corrected, and therefore people now start thinking about purchasing better products, and therefore they can in such a fashion improve their quality of life. Hence here the pricing whatsoever is made by the industry that affects only the middle class, and they pay the taxes, and the poor class is supported by not only the middle class but also by the ruling class and the business class. So in conclusion, you should know that government taxes industries in a rational manner and try to support poor people, and they also in a way try to establish purchasing power parity. When farmers are affected, this FICCA, Federation of Indian Commerce, Chambers of Commerce and Industry, they come forward to give more taxes, and this in a way suggests the opinion that was put forth by as great an industrialist like Bill Gates himself. He said that governments can tax us more in view of supporting poor people as we have more profit being earned. So there is a balance between these poor people and the rich people, which tries to establish a kind of equality despite the pricing of products they go beyond accessibility. Thank you very much.